Hello viewers, this is the Unicorndays Tarot and this is my introductory video on YouTube, and I'm talking about why we are drawn to unicorns. What reason? I know from my own experience that I was drawn to unicorns as a small child, and in those days they didn't have the amount of unicorn goods that they do now. Nowadays you can get unicorn stuffed toys, unicorn clothes, unicorn duvets, images of unicorns everywhere you can see. But when I was small, the only place I saw unicorns was in old artwork or on the royal emblem, which had the lion and the unicorn on it. And I remember asking my mother as a small child what the unicorns were and who were they, and she told me that they were mystical creatures that people believed in or didn't believe in, and she told me that I should believe in them, and that was where it was left. I discovered as I was growing a little bit older that the unicorns were considered pure of heart and would only approach those who were pure of heart, and that they were creatures for the good. So obviously if you wanted to be a good child you were drawn to them. Later I became interested in animals, and particularly horses, so it would stand to reason that the image of a unicorn as we see it these days would appeal to horse lovers. So that's one reason why many people are drawn to unicorns. But other people are drawn to unicorns who just love all animals and not particularly horses. I also know some unicorn lovers who don't have any affinity with animals at all. They've never had pets, they've never been involved with animals, and they're just drawn to unicorns. So there's no particular reason other than that. All I can say, there's some feeling that people have when they see them that automatically draws them to them, and people that are drawn to them are from all walks of life. But I feel on reflection that really the people that are drawn to unicorns are peace-seeking people, quite often gentle souls, but also people that just wish for peace and harmony. Quite often they avoid conflict, but they can be male or female. They can be very different in character, they can be fiery, they can be very gentle, but I think at the bottom of it all, the root of it, is they're seeking peace. And when they take it a little bit further, they're people who seek peace for others as well. And a lot of unicorn lovers do feel drawn to sharing how people can find peace and joy within themselves, and that's one of the reasons that I've started this channel, to see if I can share things with others. When I first started visualizing unicorns, my scientific brain found it very, very hard to accept. I kept thinking to myself, well, why couldn't I have visualized an animal that I know, or a person, or an angel even? I just felt that visualizing a unicorn was completely hooky kooky. I thought I must be going mad, and I started to look into them as much as I could, trying to make reason for why I was getting messages from unicorns, particularly when a lot of them turned out to be true. And I found it interesting to know that in pretty much every language in the world, there's a word for unicorn. So the unicorn is known in all cultures around the world, and their images may change slightly, but the word unicorn is there, and the one common factor is that they have this horn in the centre of their forehead in various different positions, but definitely in the centre of the forehead. The way we see them is that they have the horn over the third eye area. So it made me feel a little bit better, because I thought, well, if they're recognised in all cultures and there's a name for them in so many different languages, there must be some kind of existence of them somewhere. Otherwise, why would they be so well known? And I feel that perhaps somewhere along the line, the legend of the unicorns was lost, as many tales are. They just disappeared in the ether of time. And what I feel lovely is that they're getting some kind of revival, albeit in a different way, but they are, and that's a wonderful thing. So, where do you go from here? Well, the answer is you needn't go anywhere. You can just enjoy the fact that you are a unicorn lover and that there are many other unicorn lovers out there, and leave it there. And just perhaps maybe know that you're drawn to them possibly because you want a happy, harmonious, carefree life. But if you are more interested in the more spiritual side of life, and you're drawn to spiritual guidance or knowing more about the spiritual side of life, where do the unicorns fit in? Well, I believe that when you have messages coming from guides or people from the other side or angels, they tend to come in the form that you find the most acceptable and the most comfortable. So if you're a great believer in the angel realm, you're more likely to have angels appear. If you're more interested in people who've passed from the other side, the messages may appear from people and loved ones that are on the other side. And if you're more comfortable with the animal realm, you may find that when you have a visualization, you're more likely to get a past pet or a wild animal that will appear. And quite often, when you first go into your proper meditation, what appears can be quite a surprise and not at all what you were expecting, which makes it even more interesting. And sometimes what can be very interesting is people like me who have a very scientific mind and expect to get something that seems more plausible to my brain, get something quite different from the mystical realm. Fairies, dragons, unicorns, Pegasus, and all of the things that we feel, can't really exist. So it takes a lot of getting used to sometimes when these visualizations appear. But again, I believe that they come to you for a reason, and that you should just accept whatever comes through, even though it seems bizarre when your scientific brain is trying to make sense of it. And finally, what I would say to you is that when you do first start to aim to connect with the hidden realms, with messages from the other side, from spirit, from guides, from heaven, whatever you believe in, don't expect to see unicorns just because you're a unicorn lover. And if you don't see unicorns, that doesn't mean that you're not a unicorn person or a unicorn lover. And quite often you may find that the unicorns or Pegasus will appear at a later date. So some people feel that they've been a failure in some way because when they went into visualizations, they either didn't see anything or they didn't see what they expected to see, which was a unicorn. So it's very important to just be open and let your imagination go where it will. And obviously in the guided meditations, especially if you go for one that talks about connecting to a unicorn, you're more likely to visualize a unicorn. But many people I know that have done guided meditations specifically for unicorns haven't been able to see them. So it's important that you just relax and allow whatever wants to come. And even if you never see a unicorn, it doesn't mean that you're not a unicorn person, because the messages that come to you will be significant to the unicorn realm. If you are interested in spiritualism, particularly things like tarot, oracle card readings, mediumship, there's always the fear, especially when you come from a religious background, of ridicule and sometimes condemnation with certain religions as well. And this is something that many people struggle with, because although it's far more widely accepted and more open now, there are still religious beliefs that say that these should not be allowed. And I remember specifically one time at a local fete in a village where we had a spiritual shop, and our pitch was right next to a church pitch where there was a vicar and a couple of nuns, and this vicar kept looking across at our table and didn't particularly look disapproving, but didn't look particularly approving either. And at one point he came over to us and he said, "Do you know, our religion doesn't accept tarot readings?" And I said, "As tarot readers, we accept all religions and welcome all religions without discrimination, and we work for the good just as you do." And he looked at me and smiled and just walked away, and I felt that I had put a good point across at that stage. A lot of my family were very religious, but my own parents not really. And so I think it was easier for me to study all different religions, and I think I take good points from all of them. But obviously when you look at religion, they all quite often carry the same message, even when some of the religions worship different deities. We have an affinity with different angels. There's no difference. So I think you have to decide in your own mind whether you are really going to be at peace in pursuing this type of thing if your religion doesn't allow it. And over the years when I've done tarot readings, I have had many people come to me who are religious, and they've said to me, "I don't think I should be here, my religion doesn't allow it," but they've had a reading anyway, and quite often they've gone away feeling better. And I've always told them, don't give up your belief if it gives you comfort. If your religion gives you comfort, stay with it. But just know that we're here if you need us. Many people have said that before they see unicorns, often they visualize a red or a brown horse that they receive messages from, and at a later date, possibly this red horse is joined by a unicorn or replaced by a unicorn. And in most cases, the unicorn appears as a bright light or a white unicorn. And when people have often said that unicorns only appear to the pure of heart, I feel that that is slight misinformation, because a lot of people have said to me, how could I see a unicorn? I'm not pure of heart. And I've said to them, well, the unicorn came to you, so you must be attracting them in some way. And so I feel that this shouldn't be said. A unicorn appears because it appears, and that should be accepted, because I know that many people actually push the visualization away because they feel that they don't deserve it, and this is incorrect. You do. To me, it makes perfect sense that initially visualizations can be of the horses before the unicorns, because the horses in symbolism represent freedom, and if you want freedom, you want to have a free spirit, and to have a free spirit you must feel peace and joy and harmony and love. So to have the visualization of the horse representing freedom will lead you on to a more soul-searching journey, which is where the unicorns tend to come in. Other people have said that the unicorns appear to them with floppy horns that are waving around, or they're in dark colours, and I often feel that that's because they're trying to push the visualization away, because they don't believe that they should be seeing unicorns, and so the image gets distorted because they can't accept it in their minds. But as soon as they do, the unicorns appear with a solid horn in various different guises. But there's nothing wrong at all in seeing unicorns in different colours. It's totally acceptable. They don't just appear, I believe, as a bright white light, although on the whole they tend to. But the different colours obviously signify many different things, particularly in the colour field and the shamanic field. I think it's important also to talk about reality, because our reality may not be someone else's reality, even to the point of, you know, what you visualize and what you see. And through what you see, what you believe. What you believe is your reality, and what someone else believes is their reality. Neither are wrong, and this is what you must appreciate. And when someone tells you something that is their reality and they try to make it your reality, you must decide for yourself whether you want that to be your reality or not. So, for instance, if someone believes in aliens visiting them, but you don't, that's their belief, and your belief is your belief. And you should allow for both of those, whether you believe it or not. you have to just accept that it may not be right for you. So if someone tells you something at a meditation group or talk or practice, and you don't feel that it's your reality, then there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to blindly believe everything that people tell you. You must decide for yourself. But remember, again, I repeat, if someone's reality isn't your reality, it doesn't mean that their reality is incorrect, because that's what they believe. So you can be drawn to the world of spiritualism for many different reasons, at different ages of life. Some people are quite young and some at a much later stage in life, and if you decide that you wish to pursue it, there are many different ways. You can be drawn to many different things in the spiritual world. You may be drawn to the world of tarot readings, oracle cards, mediumship, Reiki, animal communication. There are so many different parts of it, and so many different facts that you can look into that are very interesting. And one of the best ways, obviously, is to join a group that teaches this, so that you can get an idea and meet like-minded people that will give you support. Other ways that you can do it, if you're more of a private person, is just to start to practice meditation. There are many meditation guidances that you can use. Or you can actually, if you're interested in the cards, I think one of the safest ways to do that is through positive message cards, which come in the form of oracle cards. And they, to me, are a much safer way to start reading cards and getting messages, because the hidden dangers of card reading, which I will talk about some other time, can be misleading. Whereas with the oracle messages, all they do is give you an uplifting, positive message for the day, which helps you to become a more positive person, which is really the whole idea of these cards and the whole practice, is to uplift people, make them feel positive and give them a better life, and to see them through the challenging times that are in their life. So with this, I will end this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you will learn something by it, and I hope that you realise that there are many of us out here who are unicorn lovers. Bye for now.